Poor Joan ain't got nobody. She's nobody's sweetheart now.
Featuring the romantic singing of Andy Russell. With a great comedy cast, including Verna Felton, Shirley Mitchell, the music of Paul Weston and his orchestra, and yours, Swan Searly, Harry Von Zell. And here's the star of our show, America's queen of comedy, Joan Davis.
Oh, no, please. Oh, Joan. Now, Joan, come over here now. Stop clubbing up the holes in that piccolo. The piccolo player will blow his brains out. Now, stop it now, Joan. Come over here, will you? Listen, Joan, I want to talk to you.
What do you want, Harry?
Well, Joan, listen, I just wanted to tell you that I saw you at Ciro's the other night, but you didn't seem to be having a very good time.
Well, I wasn't, Harry. All the men were making a terrific fuss over Lana Turner, and nobody paid any attention to me. Tell me, Harry, what have I got that she hasn't got?
Well, Joan, you mean what has she got that you haven't got? You've got it backwards.
Well, maybe that's what's wrong. I got it backwards.
Swanville, USA, January 7th, 1946. Tonight, as the first cultural activity of the new year, the citizens of Swanville flock to the town opera house for the gala opening of the local opera season. The stage boxes reveal the answer to who's who in Swanville. But if you're looking for the answer to what's that in Swanville, you'll find her in
Johnny's Tea Room. Joan Davis speaking. Oh, hello, Mrs. Alabo. Yeah, I know the opera opened tonight. I wish I could have gone. You know, when I was a young girl, I wanted to be an opera singer. I had a pretty good voice, too. I was able to hit high C. Why, once I even hit high E above high C. How did I do it? I was taking a shower, and I backed into the hot water pipe.
Say, Joni.
Yeah?
Is Andy Russell coming back to the tea room after the opera tonight?
Well, I think so, Harry. Gee, I was hoping Andy would take me instead of Barbara Weatherby. I gotta have a showdown with that girl.
Oh, well, now, stop kidding yourself, Joan. She'll never give him up.
Yeah, but maybe we can compromise and share Andy's company 50-50.
50-50?
Yeah, when I'm 50, she can have him. Hey, wait a minute. I'm getting the worst of that.
Listen, Joan, why don't you forget about Andy and think of me a little more? After all, you know how I feel about you.
How?
Well, I'm a man and you're a woman.
Oh, Harry, stop imagining things. Yeah, but no matter what you say, I just can't forget about Andy.
Yeah, all right. Well, here's your showdown. Barbara's limousine just pulled up in front of the tea room, and she and Andy are getting out.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Miss Weatherby. Hi, Andy. Have a good time?
Oh, yes, it was wonderful.
What opera did you see, Babs?
Tristan and Isolde.
Oh, a double feature, huh?
Miss Davis, is there no limit to your stupidity? Oh, Mr. Von Zell, it's too bad you had to miss the opera. It was simply breathtaking, especially the Liebestod. Oh, Andy, will you ever forget that lovely strain? Milton Liza wie lächelt, wie das Auge holt öffnet.
Hey, Babs, when does your trial come up in Nuremberg?
Well, I'd better get back to the kitchen and get some work done. See you later, Barbara.
Hey, Joan, now that Andy's gone, I think this is a very good time to discuss that little matter with Miss Weatherby.
What little matter?
Well, Babs, we're both in love with the same person, and something's got to be done about it. So let me ask you a question. How would you feel about giving up Andy?
Well, let me ask you the same question. How would you feel about giving up Andy?
Let me ask you another question. How would Amos feel about giving up Andy?
Hey, girls, I hate to interfere in this, but I think the person to be considered first is Andy. I know because I was once in a similar position.
You
see.
were?
Yes, I was a young man, unattached, and two very beautiful women were constantly fighting over me.
For your love?
No, for my cake of swan.
Well. Harry Von Zell, the Swan Don Juan.
Oh, go on. Well,
No, really, it's true, Miss Weatherby. Very true. And it's also true, you know, that Swan is the new white floating soap that's 4 swell soaps in one. It's so mild. It's great for baby and for you. And Swan's so hardworking, too. It's a natural for dishes and light laundry.
Oh, really, Mr. Von Zell, you shouldn't treat this problem of ours with such flippancy.
No. Flippancy. Well, just break Swan in two and we'll flip and see who gets which half. Don't you encourage me, Miss Weatherby, or I'll do it again. But it's really true, you know, and we'll both be happy then because when you break Swan in two, you'll have 2 generous cakes of soap, one for the kitchen and one for the bath. Swan for every soap and water job in the house. And, boy, what a soap it is. Well, I hope I've helped you with your problem, Miss Weatherby.
Well, not quite, Mr. Von Zell.
No.
Now, regarding Andy, Miss Davis, are you willing to face the issue?
I am. Issue?
Oh, please, Miss Davis. Now, I can offer Andy wealth, a career, social position. What can you offer him?
A year subscription to the Hobo News. They got funnies in there and
Oh,
everything.
Miss Davis, stop postponing the inevitable and declare yourself. Are you going to give Andy up, or are you not?
I are not. Issue?
Very well, then, I am forced to tell you. Andy and I are engaged to be married.
Married? Why didn't Andy tell me about this?
Well, we had promised to keep it a secret until Pater made the official announcement to the newspapers. There, Miss Davis, now you know.
Oh, gee, then it's true. Andy's gone out of my life forever.
Yeah, well, Joni, I guess I'm the only man you've got left now.
Oh, Harry, don't rub it in. Gee, where will I ever find another man like Andy Russell? A man with the voice of a bird, the strength of a lion, and the heart of a wolf.
Well, Miss Davis, have you tried Swanville 2734?
What's that, the Lonely Hearts Club?
The Lonely Hearts Club? Why, of course, the Lonely Hearts Club. How did you guess? Swanville 2734. Call it sometime, Miss Davis. Toodaloo. You can drive me home now, Robert. Oh, Robert, I just played the most wonderful trick on Miss Davis. I told her to telephone Swanville 2734. She thinks it's the Lonely Hearts Club, but it's really the Swanville Zoo. Of course, no normal person would call, but I can just picture Miss Davis picking up the phone and saying,
Operator, give me Swanville 2734.
Hello?
Hello, is this Swanville 2734?
Yes, it is.
Are you the man in charge?
Yes, I am.
What was that?
One of our wolves. We just got a new pack in today.
You get them in packs?
Yeah.
Well, that's really big business, ain't it? Have you got any good-looking ones?
Well, you know, sister, one wolf looks just like another. Some are red, some are white, some are gray.
Well, I don't want any of those old gray-haired ones. Have you got a young, tender one that looks like Andy Russell?
Look, sister, stop the kidding, will you? I'm busy. I gotta feed them now.
Feed them? Can't they eat by themselves?
No, they're much too wild for that.
Wow! Well, what do you feed them? Raw meat?
Of course.
Say, how long has this been going on? When can I come out and see them?
Well, it's too late tonight, sister. They're all in the cages.
Cages? Hey, wait a minute. Is this the Swanville Lonely Hearts Club?
Lonely Hearts Club. Sister, this is the Swanville Zoo.
The zoo? Ew.
What's the matter, Joan?
Well, how do you like that Barbara Weatherby deliberately tricking me into calling up the zoo?
The zoo?
Yeah, the zoo. Zoo. Z-U-Z-U. Zuzu. What a dirty trick. That's what she does to me after she breaks the news to me that she's engaged to marry Andy Russell.
Who's engaged to marry Andy Russell?
Barbara Weather. Oh, it's a secret, Andy. I promise not to tell anybody.
Well, you'd better let me in on it because I know nothing about any engagement.
You mean you're not engaged to marry Barbara? You're not leaving me?
Of course not.
Oh, Andy, you make me so happy. And now there's one question I want to ask you.
Yes?
That's the answer. Wait till I ask the question.
All right, then what's the question?
Will you sing to me?
Well, here's your answer.
I fooled you, didn't I?
As long as I live, you'll always be part of me. You'll live in the heart of me as long as I live. As long as I love, I'll share it with you, my own, and want to be loved by you alone. How sure am I of all the things I say, as sure as night will fall at close of day. You're all that I need. So answer this love I give, and whisper I'm yours as long as I live. So sure am I of all the things I say. Yes, you're all that I need. So answer this love I give, and whisper I'm yours as long as I live.
Oh, gee, that was beautiful, Andy. I feel much better now. But I'm still going to get even with that Barbara Weatherby if it's the last thing I do. Why, I'll think it's...
Miss Davis.
Uh-oh.
Yoo-hoo.
It's Rosella Hipperton III.
Hi, hippie.
Hello, Miss Davis and Mr. Russell and Mr. Vonzell. Hello.
Hello. Were you at the opera this evening, Rosella?
Oh, yes. I was in seventh heaven because they sang Tristan and Isolde.
Is that your favorite, Mrs. Hipperton?
Oh, yes. I just love the part that goes, Hamilton lies of the air late help, Vitas auch geholt er Ufnet.
Well, it's pretty, but it'll never replace Chicory Chick.
Mr. Vonzell, what's the matter with Miss Davis tonight?
Well, Barbara Weatherby played a very dirty trick on her, Rosella. She had Joan call the zoo and told her it was the Lonely Hearts Club.
Yeah.
Oh, that old chestnut. Why, we stopped playing that when I was a girl, fully 10 years ago.
10 years since you were a girl?
Yes. My, how time flies.
That ain't flying. That's jet propulsion.
Well, now listen. I can understand Barbara Weatherby playing a trick like that. At times, she can be very malicious. Why, once she even stood in the way of her father remarrying.
She did?
Mm-hmm. Some years ago, Mr. Weatherby became infatuated with the French opera singer Madeleine Duval.
Madeleine Duval?
Madeleine Duval?
Yes.
Who is she?
Why, she sang the lead in the opera tonight.
Who?
Madeleine Duval.
Madeleine Duval?
Yes.
Never heard of her.
Well, it's the same girl anyway. Anyhow, for years, Mr. Weatherby has been dying to meet her.
Who, Madeleine Duval?
Yes.
But Barbara always stood in the way. She resents any woman who might possibly marry her father.
Oh, she does, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Say, I got an idea how I can get even. I'm going to...
Wait, just a minute, Joan. Listen, if you really want to get even with Barbara, I'll tell you how to play the dirtiest trick of all.
You mean take the air out of her tires?
Oh, take away her cake of swan.
Oh, no.
She deserves no mercy. Why should she enjoy Swan, that swell new white floating soap that's pure as fine Castiles? That soap that's so mild, too. So mild that doctors recommend Swan for even a baby's tender skin. And if it's good for baby, it's good for your hands and face, your tub or shower. Yes, Joan, that's what you should do. Take away her cake of Swan.
Oh, Mr. Mansell, you couldn't be that cruel.
Oh, couldn't I, though? I'd take away her cake of Swan. And as I stealthily creep into the dark shadows, I'd remind her that Swan is so gentle and so hard-working, too. I'd make her watch the way Swan goes into a lather cleaning up a stack of dishes. She'll be forced to do without those suds that stand up and do a job. And then I'll softly whisper, "Be sure to use Swan!" But what'll happen? Barbara Weatherby won't have any Swan, and she'll have to suffer. Suffer, do you hear me? Suffer!
Harry, you keep that up, and the first thing you know it, you'll have your footprints in Grauman's chow mein. Anyhow, my way of getting even with Barbara Weatherby is much better.
Well, what are you going to do, Miss Davis?
You'll see, Andy. Say, Hippie, did you say that Mr. Weatherby has never met this opera star, Madeline Duval?
Who's she?
Why,
Oh, that's right. He always worshipped her from afar.
Oh, boy, I'm sure my idea'll work. Now, if I could only get hold of a heavy veil somewhere. But, gosh, all the stores are closed now.
Well, I have a lovely black veil at home, Miss Davis. If you could get someone to go with me and bring it back. Will you go, Harry?
Oh, well, really, Rosella, I still have some work to finish here. And Oh, hey, Joan, here comes your brother-in-law, Serenus. How about sending him?
A good idea. Hello, Serenus.
Hello, Joanie. Glad to see me?
Well, I certainly am. Look, Serenus, I want you to go with Mrs. Hipperton.
You mean steady?
No, of course not. I just want you to run an errand.
Can I walk? I'm tired. I've been working.
Working?
Yeah, you want to know where?
Certainly.
Well, ask me. Go ahead, ask me.
All right, where you been working?
At the Opera House. In the second act, I carried a spear.
No, Serenus, you really carried a spear? How did you manage to stay awake?
The man in back of me carried a spear, too.
Oh, I get the point.
So did I.
Well, never mind that, Serenus. Say, Hippie, before you go, can you tell me anything more about Madeline Duval?
Only that she has a decided French accent.
French accent? Oh, boy, ooh la la. Serenus, you go with Mrs. Hipperton and get her black veil. Oh, I'll get even with Barbara Weatherby now. Hand me that telephone, Harry.
Joan, you mean you're going to try to fool Mr. Weatherby into thinking that
You're exactly. Tonight, Joshua P. Weatherby finally meets Madeline Duval.
Where is she? Where is she?
Well, Mr. Weatherby, you're all excited. Whom did you expect to see?
A lady in a black veil. She phoned me to meet her here. Oh, she's over in the corner booth, Mr. Weatherby.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Russell. Oh, at last I meet you, the beautiful Mademoiselle Duval.
Merci, monsieur. And you are...
I am Joshua P. Weatherby.
Worship Jezebel.
No, Weatherby.
Oh, pardon. I have not been long enough in America.
Oh, well, je parle français très bien.
You speak French?
Oui.
Oh, pardon. I have not been long enough in France either. Monsieur Weatherby, could we have some tea?
Oh, Madeline, forgive my thoughtlessness. Garçon! Garçon!
What are you yelling for? Call the waiter.
Waiter! Some tea. Pour la femme.
Just tea for me. Don't pour any La Femme in it. It gets all over me. It's a mess.
Yes, mademoiselle. Here you are.
Merci. Oh, that waiter is very handsome.
Oh, Madeline, please. Please don't look at any other man. I'm so jealous, and I've waited so many years to ask you this question. Will you marry me?
Marry with you? But you have a daughter. No?
We.
We? I had nothing to do with it. But anyhow, before I marry with you, you must send her away and she must never return here again. Never, never.
Never?
No, never.
Well, Rita, Madeline, if you insist.
They told me at home that
Barbara,
you rushed
dear?
up. Yes, Peter?
I would like you to meet Mademoiselle Duval, your future mother.
Well, I'm very pleased to... My future mother.
Oui, but we will not see much of you, Barbara, dear. We are sending you away, never to return. Never.
Never?
No, never. Nobody speaks the French in Swansburg.
Peter, is this woman speaking the truth?
Well, Barbara, you may as well know this. I love Mademoiselle Duval, and if she insists that you leave Swanville, you leave Swanville.
Leave Swanville?
Oui.
Leave my home?
Oui.
Leave Andy Russell?
Oui. Or as we say in my country, scramez-vous, it's the road.
Just a moment. What kind of French is that?
Free French.
Would you mind removing your veil, Mademoiselle Duval?
Remove the veil in front of your father? Never. I mean, never.
Well, then I'll remove it for you.
Peekaboo.
Just as I thought.
Why, it's Miss Davis.
So, Miss Davis, this is your idea of a joke.
Well, it's no worse than calling the zoo.
Calling the zoo? What's this all about?
I can explain that, Mr. Weatherby. Barbara tricked Miss Davis into calling the Swanville Zoo and making a laughing stock of herself.
Is this true?
It certainly is, and she also deliberately lied to Joan and tried to make her believe that she and Andy were engaged to be married. Isn't that true, Miss Weatherby?
I have nothing to say.
Well, I have. Barbara, you're to go home immediately, and you're not to speak to anyone or leave the house for an entire week.
Oh, goody. Oh, boy, Andy, now you can take me out every night this week.
Oh, gee, Miss Davis, I'd like to, but every night this week I have to study for midterm examinations at the university.
Well, that's Andy for you. He wants to do everything the hard way.
What do you mean, Joan?
Well, I offer him an education, and he wants to go to college together.
Joan Davis will be back in just a moment, and that gives me just time to tell you that once again this year, the Swan Soap people are making their famous free baby soap offer. Yes, sir, every baby born during 1946 can get a free cake of Swan Soap. Get the details from your grocer or druggist. And let's start all of those 1946 babies on Swan, the grandest floating soap in the world. Yes, Swan is the new white floating soap that's actually pure as fine Castile. So don't forget, folks, there's a free cake of Swan waiting for every baby born in 1946. And now here's Joni again. Say, Joan, what's happening in Swanville next week?
Oh, we're going to be very busy because I'm completely redecorating the tea room. But right now I've got a more immediate date to talk about. Bob Hope invited me to visit his program this week.
Yeah? When did you see Bob Hope?
I went over to his house yesterday. You know, he lives in a very unusual house. It's shaped like a tube of toothpaste.
Really?
Yeah. Instead of going in through a front door, you have to unscrew a cap and crawl in.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes, and when I was ready to leave, they squeezed the back porch and squirted me out into the street.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, I left on a stream of irium. See you tomorrow, Bob. Good night, folks.
The Joan Davis Show, presented by Swan Soap, is produced and directed by Dick Mack and is written by Jay Summers, Jack Harvey, and Cy Wills. Now, here's a financial tip for all of you to take advantage of during 1946. The wisest and safest way to ensure your own future and a healthy, prosperous America is the regularly planned purchase of United States savings bonds. They are the ideal peacetime investment. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.